Gotham, Oakland, peace, Oakland. So, what happens when a city goes bankrupt? That's what today's episode is about. But before we get into that, let me give you a little bit of background about how we got here. And did we have any warning prior to last week's city council meeting when they told us that Oakland had 6 weeks in order to present budget solution, or we would be facing bankruptcy in the very near future because we wouldn't have time to adjust before the end of next fiscal year. This episode, the truth is revealed. Oakland faces bankruptcy if it doesn't find solutions by the 31st of New Year's Eve of this year. Why was city staff ignored? Because we know that the city's finance staff has told them many times that this was coming. And I remember Nikki Bass even telling one of the city staffers who didn't know what he was talking about because her next door neighbor was an investment banker, and she asked him the question, and his answer was sufficient. Not the people were paying hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to. And we've spoke about this before. We've talked about it, but I'm going to get my I told you so's in, and then we're going to cover the most important part. What happens when a city goes bankrupt? So you know what to expect. But first, a little background. The city administrator put out a report a week ago where he attempted to scrub the word bankruptcy in Chapter 9 from the report, but you can't erase the truth. Justin Johnson, you can't erase the truth. So let's get all into it. Just jump right in. So this is the first slide. This is in the report. Here, I'll show you the official report right now, just so you can see it. This is the real report that they finally went with. You see it signed by City Administrator Justin Johnson. He also signed the other report, just so you know. He signed it and everything. It went out to the public. It went out to OPOA and the media. And then once they saw the backlash, they tried to retract. I believe Oakland side even slipped character and called out Nikki Bass for trying to text them and asked them why did they run a story about what I'm talking about right now. Like, why wouldn't they run the story, Nikki Bass? Really interesting. How many other text messages go to Southeast Side demanding that they retract stories that they don't tell us about? I wonder. But anyway, back to this slide here. It says the results of this first quarter show immediate action is necessary to maintain the solvency of a general purpose fund, GPF, and avoid the Chapter 9 process. They deleted that. It also said that given that there is no possibility of replenishing the reserve this fiscal year, just so you know, this fiscal year ends next year, 2025, the month of June, end of June. Following the conclusion of the audit, the publication of the annual comprehensive finance report, the City Council will be required to declare a fiscal emergency per the consolidation fiscal policy. Failure to take a dramatic and immediate step to reduce expenditures will almost certainly result in insolvency. All of that was taken out. And when we go through our Gotham Oakland Government 201 Municipal Finance class I have coming up, I prepared for you, where I walk you through what happens in Chapter 9 bankruptcy so we know what to expect, you'll see why the declaration of a fiscal emergency is a very important benchmark. Moving on, they also deleted on page 6 that projections of the remainder of fiscal year 2024-2025 do not account for additional payments from the Coliseum land sale within this fiscal year, reinforcing the need for the city to plan without reliance on uncertain future funds. Strong recommendations. Staff strongly recommend that decision makers do not include Coliseum proceeds in any future budget balancing action until after that cash has been received and the title of the property transferred, which, as we know, is at earliest and the city, the county of Alameda meeting later this month, but will probably never happen because Ray, Ray got the money. Ray Bobbitt got the money. AASCG is playing games, and the janky promoter is going to be exposed. I hope it's not true. And he's also still being sued by his former business partner. So even if he does manage to get control of the Coliseum, there's a binding arbitration with those two members. Next summer, he could lose the Coliseum to them. But anyway, back on track here. Why did they delete the reinforcing the need for the cities to plan without reliance on uncertain future funds? They didn't like that language, so they took it out. Justin, you should have left it in. You signed it. Okay, moving on to this is on page. Not quite sure what page it's on, but I could find it. So here's what they deleted here. It's important to note that the ending fund balance across all other funds are not appropriate, are not funds that are available to spend in 2024, 2025. Policymakers should not seek to appropriate fund balances to any non-general purpose fund for the purpose other than resolving the general purpose fund shortfall, provided that such action is legal. Staff strongly recommends against any additional expenditures, commitments against fund balance. And they also deleted the next part. The fund balance is the self-assurance fund should not be appropriated as it is needed to pay possible legal settlements, which are estimated to be far greater than the existing fund balance in the current year appropriation combined. They deleted that too. What possible legal fund settlements are estimated to be greater than the existing legal fund balance and the current year appropriation combined? Could it be the coal lawsuit where we're being sued for $1 billion, in addition to the other lawsuit related to coal that we've lost, where we're going to owe millions of dollars in legal fees at best, and we still want to have to allow the coal to be shipped through the port of Oakland? I would love some answers on that. Moving on, there's another one that's deleted in the new version, and that is the conclusion. And I'm going to go to the language in the final version so you can compare and contrast. This gives the Table 6 summary of the fiscal situation with the general purpose fund balance. With the updated data, this is the conclusion here, the finale, my bad. The general purpose fund balance started in a negative position and is projected to end in a substantial deficit, worsened by delays in receiving funds that were budgeted from the Coliseum sale and leading to necessary reduction in city services to compensate for the shortfall. Here goes that botched stadium deal again we've been warning you about for months and months and months, and everyone ignored it. The media kept allowing how many victory laps? How many victory laps were taken about that stadium deal and how it would help Oakland? Now we know that it's actually responsible for our pending bankruptcy and the fact that we're cutting public safety right now. Here's another one that they deleted. Given the severity of the city's financial situation, it would be fiscally irresponsible and budgetarily reckless to rely on funds from the sale of the Coliseum or any other property sale until after the sale is completed, cash is received, and the title is transferred. There goes that language again. Here's another one. Reliance on any speculative revenue to balance the GPF budget deficit may directly cause the city to become insolvent and necessitate much deeper reduction to services and expenditures in the near and long term. Nikki Bass, Kevin Jenkins, Carol Fife, Dan Cow, former Mayor Sheng Tao, every single one of you told us that the stadium deal was legit and that we would not have to go into the contingency budget. You tried to bully Johnny because she was being a fierce watchdog for the citizens of Oakland about this issue. And now we find out the truth. Shame on you guys. So what does it really say on that last one? Let me go back so you can see what it says here. What does it really say? Let's go to the last page of the conclusion. And then we'll see what it really says here. Further, the agreed value of the Coliseum sale is insufficient to resolve the current year deficit. Reliance on any unrealized revenue to balance the budget will further compromise the city's fiscal condition and directly necessitate much deeper reductions to services and expenditure near and long term. Should the land sale complete with funds received, blah, 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 blah. They softened it. Why did they change? Why? So that's the first part of our show. Our city is not capable of even telling us the truth. They're signing reports and then going back on it and redacting language because it's damning. I think that Justin Johnson may just be a white hat here. I have a theory. I just started this theory. Although I was just dissing the man a few minutes ago, maybe Justin's a white hat and he put that in there to give us a warning, knowing Nikki Bash and all of his handlers were going to freak out and make him change it. But at least we got to see what he really thought about our budget situation. You know what? I'm going to go with that. I'm going to switch it up. Thank you, Justin. You may actually be okay yet. And maybe all of the mistakes that they're blaming on you aren't really yours, and you're really doing everything you can to keep the city intact. I'm going to just think positive and try to believe that. Okay.
Yo, I swear it's only up from here. Yo, I swear it's only up from here. Yo, I swear it's only up from here. Yo, I swear it's only up from here.